What's up, y'all? It's Dimz. Rivals of Aether 2 has been out for about 2 months now, and it's the end of the year, so let's talk about the best and the worst skins for every single character in the game. I plan to do this about every 6 months, as long as the game is still, gaming, and if I'm still happy with it. So the criteria for being judged on this list. Well, firstly, it has to be a skin. It can't be a color palette of the default. So it doesn't matter that mint looks really good or some purple colors are just okay. Neither are eligible for this ranking because they're attached to the default of the character. Only skins that make you use your trigger buttons count. Next criteria, even if the skin is no longer attainable, it is still valid for this list. However, if the skin has not been officially released by this patch, then it is not valid for this list. Next up is price or method of attainability. These are not strict factors for this list. I don't care if you had to pay $50 for the skin or if you had to play the game just for 5 minutes. All I care about is how the skin looks and the bells and whistles that may come with it. Lastly, there has to be a worse skin, even if it's not bad, and there has to be a best skin, even if it's not the greatest. So please don't take this rankings too seriously if I end up saying something bad about your favorite skin, okay? If you want to partake and make your own little list, well, I've set that up for you in the description. I made a tier list with all the skins. It's in the description below and it's what I'll be using throughout the video. This list contains all the skins officially released for the patch 1.0.4. And today's date is December 28th, 2024. Let's get started. Let's start off with the big elephant himself, Loxodont. So, Loxodont has a great set of skins, but let's find out which one's the best first. So, one of Loxodont's first skins is the Mammoth Loxodont, and this one's okay. It's, makes him fuzzy and like a mammoth. I like it, he's an elephant, why not give him a mammoth skin? But then they go and make him a giraffe, which at first is a weird choice, but when you look at the skin and you see how the molten lava affects him, it's actually really clean. But now, let's talk about Abyss skins. In Rivals of Aether 2, you're able to actually play as the Abyss creatures, or the deformed Abyss creatures that is created by the Abyss. In Rivals 1, Abyss skins were actually just color palettes, just making all the characters basically purple. For this game, they really upped the ante and they made them kind of deformed, gnarly, wicked, and some of them unsettling. I think all the Abyss skins look really cool in their own regard, but some more cooler than others. For Loxodont, he looks like a completely different character, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually very clean. But next we have to talk about one of his flagship skins. That is Chef Loxodont, which I still find very funny, and it really works for him. And I find it very awesome, and it's really good as well. However, Loxodont's best skin, the best skin that he recently just got this patch, has to be Hockey Loxodont. It's just too good. From changing his axe, putting him to a well-fitting clothes, he looks great, everything sounds great, the tiny effects is great, his molten armor turns him like icy blue, which is awesome. And have you heard his victory theme? That thing is such an earworm.
You don't deserve power.
I want a full minute of that. So there's no way that this isn't his best skin currently. But let's talk about his worst one. The Retro Loxodont, I think all the retro skins are just okay. They're there. Like, they're not offensive or anything, but they're there. The newly added Cow Loxodont is really good on the eyes. I actually like it and all its alts, so it's definitely okay. However, the Zebra Loxodont, I feel like Cow and Giraffe does whatever Zebra is trying to do way better than Zebra is trying to do it. Now for the worst skin that Loxodont has. It's gonna go to White Elephant Loxodont. Now, I really wanted to like White Elephant Loxodont because his axe is gift wrapped, it's for the holiday season, And besides maybe Chef Loxodont, he doesn't really have a white color palette, so this would fit nicely into that. But the skin's just kind of bad, especially when you throw in all of its color changes. It doesn't really change enough, and with no effects or anything around it, I feel like it's worse than Zebra Loxodont, because when you change Zebra Loxodont's colors, you still get a pretty good variety of colors and it looks pretty striking. You don't get that with White Elephant Loxodont. You just get a white Loxodont. So comparing that to all these other skins, this is gonna be the worst one. Now let's talk about our aquatic friend, Orcane. Orcane doesn't have a lot of skins to him, but there seems to be a clear theme with him. They've basically been giving him different recolors and skins that just make him look like different fish, which is pretty good. Let's see which ones I like the most. So, Axolotl is very, very good. The clownfish, also very, very good. Actually, let me use this time to talk about how I feel about retro skins. When it comes to retro skins, I'm very take it or leave it. It doesn't really change the character too much. It does kind of recolor them, and it's fine. Again, I'll take it or leave it. They give some of their moves special little GBA 8-bit effects, which is, again, fine, but I wouldn't call the skin like pretty or anything. So personally, if your worst skin is your retro skin, you have pretty darn good skins, but for me, it's a meh. Orcane's best skin though, it's newly added, but Blue Tang Orcane, this thing just looks pretty. The colors on it fit so well, and all the colorations of Orcane with this skin is very striking. It's a joy to see Orcane wear this. As for Orcane's Abyss skin, it's alright. It's okay. But now, Orcane's worst skin, and I think that might go to Tiger Shark Orcane, only because it doesn't really change too much. It kind of just puts spots on Orcane, and which isn't bad, but it doesn't really do anything, especially compared to the default. You put spots on him, you turn him brown, that's kind of it. And especially when you compare it to all the other skins that actually like change him in very colorful ways. Adding spots is very subtle. Well, I'm not saying it's horrible, but to me it's his weakest skin. Alright, let's do a hard one. Forsburn. I feel like on average, Forsburn has some of the best skins in the game. But let's try to find his best. So let's talk about his retro skin first. Well, mostly all of them are meh to me, but for Forsburn, the retro skin actually works for him, and it kind of bumps it from a meh to a just okay. Next, let's talk about Wasteland Forsburn. Wasteland Forsburn actually has a really cool bells and whistles, especially when it comes to the pants, the mask, and just the whole apocalyptic Wasteland Mad Max vibes. It's very, very good. Then newly added Krampus Forsburn. They did a great job changing his model and all the little stuff they did to it as well. This is a amazing skin as well. But for his best skin, I would definitely have to say is going to be Abyss Forsburn. This thing looks simply awesome. When it comes to all the other Abyss skins, when it's, kind of gnarly, kind of out there, this one just stands above all the rest, and it's something that I would personally grind for. Character level 100 for Forsburn? Yeah, this is worth it. Well, let's try to find his worst. Let's see. Doberman Forsburn has some weird colorations, but overall, I like the way it looks. It's still pretty good. It has weird colorations though, as well as Dalmatian Forsburn. It's cute. I also like it as well. And last but not least, Aardwolf Forsburn. Now, this is a skin that surprisingly I thought was going to be bad, but especially with it and its colorations, it's very striking and all the little stripes on it. I like this skin as well. So Forsburn just comes out with just a great set of skins, which means for me to choose the weakest, I guess that's gonna go to Retro Forsburn. Now let's talk about Maypul, because she's queen of the skins that just look like glorified recolors. But in her case, it doesn't all look bad. Like her new skin, Martin Maypul, where she looks like a martin, it's okay. As well as Winter Stoat Maypul, that's okay too. Let's see. Well, you know how I feel about retro skins. That's a big meh. And now, funnily enough, her Abyss skin, it gets a meh from me. It's So that leaves 2 more skins, and we have to choose her best. Would you believe me if I said that this was actually a tough choice for me? Because Skunk Maypul is surprisingly really good. Like, the colors are striking, it's simple, especially the blue one. It looks like some kind of electric blue rodent. Like, if you see Skunk Maypul in game, for anyone who like grinded this character to level 50, it looks good. Like, I won't fault you if you say Skunk Maypul is her best skin. And I want to say that too. But Bandit Maypul just obviously does a little bit more. It's actually, well, one, actually a costume change, but then two, it just does a little bit more than everything else is doing. So Maypul skin, I would say her best skin is Bandit Maypul. That's probably not a shocker to a lot of you, but at a very close second has to be Skunk Maypul for me. So out of these skins, we have to choose a worse one. When in doubt, a retro's out. So next, let's talk about fleet skins. So if Forsburn has on average the best skins, I would say Fleet on average has the worst skins, or the most nothing skins. Now, this might not be a shocker, call me biased. Her best skin is Summer Fleet, because out of all her skins, this is one that actually looks like it had some heart put into it. The rest of them, well, let's take a look. Retro Fleet actually doesn't look bad. It actually looks okay. Sunny Fleet is still kind of just Fleet, but a different color. Like, Then we have the Abyss Fleet. Abyss Fleet is really gnarly, and like, out of all this one makes me the most uncomfortable out of all the Abyss skins. It just makes me uncomfortable. Now the newly added Husky Fleet, yeah, this is okay. It's, just kind of standard. The colors don't really do much, but it's cute. And for the worst skin, the one that you actually have to unlock through level up, which is Aussie Fleet. Because while it looks okay, honestly, they did a horrendous job with the recolors for the skin. Like, this skin might as well just be a color palette. I feel like that's the only way to save this skin. Just make it a color palette, or actually change the different colorations of this skin. They've done this in the past to other skins, like when it comes to Winter Stoat Maypul, and even the mint skin for Orcane, like they recolored it. I feel like this is going to need a recolor when it comes to the red, blue, and green team, because it's ugly. It just is. Let's talk about the future Panther, that is Clairen. Now, Clairen has some really good skins, but as of right now, I think the variant where she doesn't have her helmet on kind of stands one toe above the rest of them. So with that said, I want to throw these 3 into okay, because they're basically recolors of each other, but they're all, I'm like, they're kind of doing their own thing, and they all look they all look good. They all look good. As for her Abyss mode, that one's actually really clean. I really like it. Let's see. Let's talk about her Halloween one, Slasher Clairen. It's It's okay, but I feel like what sets it a little bit better than okay is just all the visual effects that it has. So the visual effects definitely saves this skin. But for me, her best skin has to be Ranger Clairen. It's the armor. The armor is just really, really sick. Plus, you know, the lightsaber kind of beam with it. It's the armor. I'm sorry. It's the armor. It's really cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. So as for the worst skin, let's see what else skins that we have left of her. Well, they're both kind of low poly and retro, but the low poly is a very clean skin. So that means goodbye retro, you're the worst skin. Now let's talk about Ranno, who is tied with Kragg for having the most skins in the game. They're both getting a lot of love. I don't know why, but you know, let's see if that changes in the next 6 months. Now, Ranno's a pretty decent mixed bag when it comes to skins, so let's actually try to find his worst first. And personally, this is gonna sound weird, but I think low poly is actually really bad, especially when compared to retro. See, what I am looking for is what changes the skin. Why would you choose this skin over the default? And it just being blocky for Ranno does not do enough. It is practically just the default skin, but just a little blocky. I feel like it is the worst out of all the low poly skins, and I don't think I'm alone in that opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna say low poly is Ranno's weakest skin, especially compared to retro. But now let's go judge all the other skins. Let's see, Black Widow, that one's okay. Tuxedo Ranno, that one's very clean. Pond Frog Ranno, this one's very, very basic. What, I don't know what they as well as the newly added Tree Frog Ranno, a bit better than Pond Frog, but I feel like they're just doing the same thing. Now Basketball Ranno or Slam Dunk Ranno. This one's almost hits clean for me. It's really, really okay. Actually, no, it's clean. It's clean. I like it. Abyss Ranno, very clean as well. But now, Snow Day Ranno and Poison Dart Ranno. Now, I would flip a coin on this, but I really think, thematically, Poison Dart Ranno is Ranno's best skin, but I am not married to that opinion. If you think any of the skins in the clean tier is Ranno's best skin, I will give that to you. But for me, I think thematically, especially how the recolors look for Poison Dart Ranno, that it is the best skin, but it has a lot of competition. Now, going from Ranno with the most skins, let's go to the one that's also tied with the most skins, Kragg. So Kragg, just like Ranno, has a great mixed bag of skins. So let's just go through all of them. Football Kragg is really good. Retro Kragg is actually pretty decent, but personally I think low poly Kragg outclasses it. Ladybug Kragg is really good as well. Let's see. Rockstar Kragg is okay. Abyss Kragg is really, really good. Snowman Kragg, it's okay. Let's see. Goliath Kragg, it's there, I guess. So I would definitely say the best Kragg skin has to be Scarab Kragg. They just did too much for this skin. I know the skins before, like, they officially like made rarities, but this is an epic level skin, just without the sound effects. It's also just really good. You can check out my video when I did a showcase on it. It's really phenomenal. So that means the weakest Kragg skin would definitely have to be the newly added Bee Kragg. Mostly because, well, I guess there's a few bugs or insects that Kragg doesn't really work too well as. Sure, the yellow and black is fine for the default, but the recolors are just ugly. Like, honestly, it's ugly. So Kragg's weakest skin is B Kragg. Now it's time to talk about the flying ace, Wrastor. Now, let's start with his worst skin, and let's be a little controversial about this. I think Wrastor's worst skin is Abyss Wrastor. And why? Well, like some Abyss skins, they come out a little bit unsettling and such. Well, his is really ugly, like demonstrably so. And some people might say, well, yeah, that's kind of the point. And while I do understand that, it doesn't really do it any favors while compared to all the other skins that actually make him look like a pretty bird or a cool bird. Now he's just a ugly thing because they replace his beak as well with an eye. So when you even when you go for dash attacks, it kind of looks ugh. Again, that might be the point, but the point makes me uncomfortable. It's the worst skin. Quickly jumping around to all the other skins. Blue Jay is clean. Mecha Wrastor is clean. Retro Wrastor is okay. Puffin Wrastor basically wants to do what Blue Jay does, but doesn't really do it that well. Like, it's not a bad skin, but it's a meh. Now, this is a tough one. Between Kickstarter Wrastor and Parrot Wrastor. Parrot Wrastor has some of the best color alts in the game, and it's just overall very pretty with it. While Kickstarter Wrastor is very funny, looks great, and also has some of the best colorations in the game. Like, low key, it actually does. And I guess for me, again, I could flip a coin. You can argue with me. I won't fight back because I think that Kickstarter Wrastor is Wrastor's best skin, while Parrot Wrastor it's on the heels of being the best skin for Wrastor. All right, last character. Let's talk about Zetterburn. Zetterburn has some great skins. So let's find out which ones are the best and the worst. Let's start off with Abyss Zetterburn because that's really clean. I really like the way this came out. It's very good. It's very, very good. Next up, Lovers Zetterburn, the one where he has a varsity jacket. It's okay, but the football for the fireball makes me want to bump it up. I'm gonna just say it's okay. I'm gonna just say it's okay for right now. Let's see. Next is Tiger Zetterburn. It looks very clean. I love the alt and colorations for Tiger Zetterburn. It's so good. Next is Leopard Zetterburn. Kind of same deal. I think Tiger does it better, but it's still really good. Retro Zetterburn. Well, retro skins are pretty meh. It looks good on Zetterburn though. And well, if you've seen my Vampire Zetterburn, this one's the best. Zetterburn looks great inside the Dracula-like suit, and plus all his fire effects comes with bats. It's a great skin, and I like how pale his skin or fur is, especially with all the different colorations. It's a great skin. I really love Vampire Zetterburn. As for the weakest skin, I'm gonna give it to Panther Zetterburn. Again, it's not bad, but the thing is, it's kind of just black Zetterburn. Even all the different alt colorations, it's just, it kind of keeps the darkness, and it's just black Zetterburn. So, not bad, but I have to choose the weakest skin, and I'm gonna choose it. Alright, that was all of the characters. Time to have fun with the bonus round. Let's put all the worst and all the best skin together and see if we can find the worst or best skin in the game. Let's start off with all the worst. So let's see what we have here. Well, off the rip, I'm going to say Zetterburn. I just had to choose a skin for him, and his retro wasn't that bad. I think Panther was just a little bit worse, but I just had to choose Zetterburn, so this skin's not really that bad. Speaking of not being bad, All the retros, you know, if retro is the worst skin they have pretty good skins. Retros are not that bad at all. Let's see. Now we get into some of the real bad ones. Which, okay, B Kragg, that's bad. That's just bad. Let's see. Shark, leopard shark is actually not that bad. It's just plain more than anything. It's not that bad. Let's see. See, Abyss Wrastor is not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. However, to me it's still bad. It's a little too ugly. I'm gonna just call it bad. All right. We have these three. Okay. Huh. Okay, yeah, this is actually pretty difficult. Let's see. When it comes to low poly Ranno, there's kind of no reason to choose this over the default. It's just a little bit too blocky and such. But yeah, it's just the default outclasses it, which makes it bad. But is it the worst skin in the game compared to these other two? Granted, these two are free, and you have to pay for this one. But you can just not pay for this one. Huh. Low poly Ranno gets... Low poly Ranno is bad. But is it the worst? Now let's go to these two. White Elephant Loxodont and Aussie Fleet. Which one of you is the worst skin in the game? Let's see. Alright, look at them side by side. It's just... Alright, I have to choose one. And right now, I'm really debating because honestly, both of them have pretty bad alternative colors as well. But what I'm really debating is the wrapped axe enough to save White Elephant Loxodont? And even though the wrapped axe is something really, I really like, it is the only thing I like on the skin. While for Fleet, I actually do like the new colorations of her outfit. And her default for this skin is not bad. It's mostly the recolors that hold it down. And I think just because of that, I am going to say White Elephant Loxodont is currently the worst skin in Rivals of Aether 2. Obviously, this is my opinion. You guys can have different opinions, and that's fine. But for me, and in this current patch, White Elephant Loxodont is the worst Rivals of Aether 2 skin. Well, now let's go try to find the best. Here we have our contestants. In my opinion, obviously, all the best skins for every character so far in Rivals of Aether. But who stacks up the greatest? Now let's see. I think this might be a little harder to do than the worst. But okay. I am going to say...
Great!
Incredible!
Great! 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 Great!
Incredible!
Great! Great!
What's the matter, trainer?
Incredible!
So, these 5 are great. These 5 are incredible. So from these 5, I have to choose the best skin. There's a lot of great ones in here. And I think I just made my decision. Ironic too. I believe the current best skin in Rivals of Aether 2 is Hockey Loxodont.
Congratulations!
Obviously, you guys could choose any of these skins. Obviously, this is my list, and you can definitely argue with me. But currently, I think the best skin in Rivals of Aether 2 is Hockey Loxodont. So, that was my list. I hope you all enjoy my list, and I hope you guys are ready for the new year when it comes to Rivals of Aether 2. I assume you're going to get a lot more new skins. So, in 6 months, let's see if my opinion has changed and what the competition will add. But until then, you all have a great one.
The champion is...
You don't deserve